Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it, ready to have some fun. So I actually got an email coming off of the last video. Someone reached out, one of the subscribers reached out, and he was like, hey, Bourbon Judge, got a couple questions. First, he was like, you talk about the Wild Turkey Rare Breed, the bourbon, and the rye, like you've included them in your list, but you never review them on the channel. He was like, why don't you review at least one, if not both? All right. Duly noted. So we're going to review it. We're going to start with the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye for today. I'll do the bourbon in a future episode. Second thing the person asked me was, he was like, hey, Bourbon Judge, tell me a little bit more about like your, just your Patreon site as a whole. So again, first and foremost, thank you to all my patrons out there who support the Bourbon Judge. Really do appreciate it. But to become a patron, the tiers start at $3. We do a whole bunch of fun stuff. Like yesterday, I gave away actually 2 sets of these mini Glenns rather, 2 sets to 2 different patrons. So I do a whole bunch of other fun contests each month. We go back and forth, a lot of great, just camaraderie, just a lot of great content as a whole. So if you're interested in becoming a Patreon member, just check me out over on Patreon. But again, thank you again to all my patrons for all the support, all the love, as well as all my subscribers as well. I do appreciate each and every one of you. All right, so Wild Turkey Rare Breed Bourbon and Rye, but we're going to start with the rye today. So the rye, barrel proof, coming in at 112.2 proof. From an availability standpoint, I mean, typically if you go to a couple really good bourbon stores that have a really good selection, you should not have a hard time finding Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye. You really shouldn't. I've seen it in multiple stores across the Northeast, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia. I mean, I've seen it in multiple states. So I would say, not super hard to find. If you live in a state where it might be a little bit more challenging, you can also find it online. The only challenge with getting it online is that you'll get it at MSRP, but you have to pay $15, at least $15 for shipping. So that's the only challenge with buying it online. The Rare Breed Rye, this has been around just for a few years. It's like one of the newest parts of the lineup from a Wild Turkey Rye standpoint. Think back to for example, like the Russell's 6-year rye, fantastic. But what I love about this bad boy is that it's barrel proof, where that 6-year is not. All right, price standpoint, about $55 to $65. Just kind of depends on where you're at. I mean, I think I got this bottle actually from Costco, but again, I've seen it in other stores. But it's always in that $55 to $65 range. And then when you think about it, there is no age statement, so we don't know the exact age of this rye whiskey. We do know the mash bill: 51% rye, 37% corn, and 12% malted barley. So as you can tell, this has a high corn in the mash bill. So it probably does sip closer. Actually, it does sip more closer to a bourbon than it does a traditional rye. All right, I'm ready to dive into this bad boy because it's been a long day and I'm ready to have some fun. So let's get into this nose real quick. So what I do like about this whiskey is that, again, with it being a high corn in the mash bill as a second primary ingredient, other than, of course, obviously rye, which is the majority, the 51%. I do like a lot of the more traditional bourbon notes come out in this, but it's a really good blend at the same time. You get a really good blend of like caramel, some cinnamon. You definitely get the notes of like some minty pepper, which you normally do get from a traditional rye, but you get the mint. You get the pepper, the cinnamon, caramel, a little bit of brown sugar, smidge of leather. It's truly a great blend of traditional bourbon notes and traditional rye notes. Really nice across the board. All right, hey, I say this each and every week, and I really mean it. Peace, cheers, salute. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Again, 3 quick favors. Hit the like button, drop me a comment. Last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Thank you. Cheers, my friends. Woo! That packs a nice punch. So what I love about this, the palate matches the nose exactly. I mean, everything in the nose the caramel, the brown sugar, a little bit of mint, a little bit of pepper, almost even a smidge of like a little bit of like licorice in there as well. It's a true great combination of like bourbon and rye kind of put together. This to me is very much in line with like a Pikesville, the Heaven Hill product, or even like a Sagamore, which here we go right here. You got different top, I don't want the different top here, but the Sagamore, which they both, so Sagamore, Pikesville, and this product here, all three of them use a high percentage of corn as the second primary ingredient. They all kind of play in that same sandbox, if you will. This is probably even a little bit more closer to Pikesville than it is even Sagamore, but I will say, what I love about this product is that it packs a hell of a punch. That was a long and solid finish. For a $55, $60 bottle, come on. This to me is a definite buy. The only exception I would say, if you are, two things. Number one, if you are a bourbon drinker and you're looking to get into rye, obviously you have Pikesville, you even have Sagamore, but add this to the collection if you like something that packs a little bit more of a punch. Coming in at 112.2 proof, this also packs a fantastic punch. Second thing, if you are a rye whiskey, let's call it just, you love yourself a straight rye whiskey, you may want to shy away only because this one does sit closer to a bourbon. It's not that traditional 95.5 kind of rye or even 100% rye whiskey from a mashable standpoint. So this one is almost like a hybrid, if you will. So as long as you like a hybrid and you're okay with that, this to me is a definite buy. Cheers, my friends. Take care.